All right, The Sounds is a very engaging, sometimes dark, and really mysterious series. You play a Canadian woman who flies down there to be with her husband to start a new business. He disappears. A woman's body shows up. There's just threat everywhere. So she's dealing with this
Hmm.
dark, complex situation. So what was the shoot like?
Yeah, it was, I mean, everything it was everything you've just described, and emotionally, grueling. And I was put through the ringer, and thank God for Peter Stebbings, our director, who carried me. Um, but also it was like two worlds, because I had New Zealand, which was this glorious place and just beautiful. And everyone I was
Mm.
working with was kind and collaborative. And so it was like really satisfying on a personal level. And then in terms of the actual experience and the emotions, the sort of emotional roller coaster of playing that role, it was incredibly challenging and really, really, really hard. And
Plus, it was pretty physical
uh,
for you.
it was physical, both in the fact that there was a lot of physical activity in the show. There's a lot of, still a lot of like running and outdoors stuff and stunts and things like that. And then also it was physical because I was just working crazy hours. It was, just on my feet for, 16 hours a day, just
Wow.
kind of being racked. So yeah,
And trying to
it
be
was
a
a
mom
challenge.
too at the same time.
And trying to be a mom at the same time. But
Well,
as
I'm
I'm a
sending
fan of
you a medal,
saying,
so there you go.
oh,
Sending you a medal.
well, on the one hand, I want to receive that. On the one hand, I want to receive that medal. And on the other hand, as I'm fond of saying, I'm a woman and I'm a mother, and we just get it done.
Yeah. How true.
I think that, yeah, we're all in a time now, I think, where, everybody that I know is finding out what they're made of. And I won't take anything away from other people. I will not take away from parents, or anyone who doesn't identify as a woman. But I'm always obviously gonna, in addition, speak for the sisterhood and the motherhood, because that's where I feel a kindred spirit at the moment. And will say that mothers just, women in general, and mothers just do hard things and have incredible capacity, and we do that no matter what. So I don't need, I'll take the medal, it'll hang it on my wall, but I don't necessarily need it. I share it with everyone, because I'm just astounded on a regular basis by the endurance and exceeding capacity of the women around me, and also the mothers who have this added dimension. Um, yeah, it's a shared strength I can no longer kind of take credit for. I know too much now. It isn't unique. It's an incredible strength, and it isn't unique to me.
Well, and also Maggie is in this town that is so intertwined and interconnected, with good and bad things and personalities and events that reverberate past decades and whatnot. Um, and she becomes a hero. She's almost like a healer. She wants to help people. She's not even like, I want to help. She just does. She just does help. And she puts herself on the line for everybody, including um, herself. And I just think she's a
Mhm.
wonderful female for television. So kudos.
Oh, thank you. I feel that way too, and I actually feel like one of the things that's an important part of that equation is that Maggie also makes a lot of mistakes, and she does things. Sometimes she does the wrong thing for the right reason,
Mhm.
and sometimes she does the thing that's right for her for the wrong reason. And but one of the things that was so important to me in that moment was that she should have agency. I'm a lot of the time find myself sort of screaming at the TV, when I watch
Yes.
things where women make bad choices and have to be redeemed by the storyline being that they were manipulated or taken advantage of. We redeem women's bad choices by making them victims, And it was really important to me that Maggie be full of all of the things that women are, which is agency. And that means that sometimes we make the right choice and sometimes we make the wrong choice. But if it's for our own reasons and we can be held accountable, then that is what I think is that's equality.
Yes,
And
and
that's
her
what I wanted
strength.
for her. I wanted the audience to feel free not to like her when she did the wrong thing, and then like her again when she did the right thing. They could be
Yeah.
both mad at her and embrace her.
Yes, it's challenging for us, and I love to see she's a new woman for television in many ways, I find, and that's thanks to you. Now there's so much going on in this little town, this tiny town, way out miles and miles away from anywhere, and everyone is interconnected so much, and murder happens more than usual, just as they do
More than you.
summer and Cabot Cove and Broadhurst. Broadhurst? No,
Broadchurch.
Broadchurch. Oh my God, how my memory fails me. Yes. So,
Well, it was a while ago.
original hotbed of murder and madness, right?
Yeah. It is, and I think it begs the question, of. So you know what it actually makes me think of? It actually makes me think of, I have this app that I think a lot of people are on it now. I don't know if you're on it, but there's this app called Nextdoor, right? And you have to live in your neighborhood to get access to the Nextdoor app.
Right.
And you have to get an invite from someone else so that it makes sure that everyone who's on each particular neighborhood group actually lives in the neighborhood. And in addition to having a feature where you can let people know about, events in the neighborhood, or let people know about something that might be, dangerous, they should avoid, there's a pothole down that road, whatever. There's also a place where you can just comment, just like share things with your neighbors that they should know about. And the things that people post are such a glimpse, as all kind of social media or Facebook or, all that is. It's such a glimpse into what's going on in, like, who your neighbors are. Like, oh, I didn't know my neighbor had that view. Didn't know my neighbor was that person. And you start to see your neighborhood as people's prejudice people are showing the amount of passion that people will put about, people not taking their bins in early, or not early enough, or whatever it is. No, and you start to ask yourself, I do anyway, I start to ask myself, what is going on in these families and in these houses where people care so much about this, where people are literally willing to, like, the venom and the vitriol, like, burn down their neighbor's house because they're not taking their bins in early enough. And what it makes me think is, everywhere you go, everybody is dealing with things that are so fraught that they're hiding it, and instead they're focusing all their energy on all these other things. Because if you knew the truth about who they were or what their life looked like, they would be in real trouble. People only scream about those kinds of things when they are avoiding something else that should be getting that energy. So I feel like we have all these great shows where these towns, it's always a small town. So you get to know all the characters, and you're like, how can there be these small towns where everybody has these terrible secrets? It's too perfect. I don't believe it. Everybody has a mystery. But it's actually what it feels like now to live in Los Angeles, like in Hollywood.
Craziness.
Like, that's what it's like to live anywhere.
Well,
your neighbors are hiding. Your neighbors are hiding something. Our miniseries could take place in any town or city. Everybody has secrets. Everybody's guilty.
And that tells me we need season 2.
Sure, why not? We'll come shoot it in Toronto.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know what's going on in Toronto. We'll come pick up some stones and look and see what's
excellent.
underneath.
Excellent. Some poutine. Thank you so much, Rachelle.
Thank you.
Have an awesome night.